So breathing tips 101 here. So ideally every breath should be in and out through your nose, your tongue should be on the roof of your mouth, and every breath should make your belly kind of protrude in and out, which means lets you know that you're using your diaphragm and that's pushing down like we talked about. So a little tip here is the closer you get your pelvic floor to your ribs and diaphragm, the easier it is for you to breathe using your diaphragm. So the very first position to work on your breathing from is on your back with your knees up, and you're going to support your knees with your hands. So you tilt your pelvis towards your ribs, and that brings your pelvic floor and your diaphragm closer together, so that when you're breathing, it's really easy to get them to communicate, and that's going to work that deep core musculature. So after this, once you kind of dial it in here, or if this is really, really easy, you can unsupport your arms, so you can bring your arms down to your side and just try to breathe here. The goal here is to not have for this not to take a lot of effort. So if you're really having to work hard in order to keep your knees tucked in, if your feet are strained, or if you're strained, then this obviously isn't a position you're ready to breathe from. So you just go back to here. So from here, arms down to your side. If this is really easy, you can bring your arms overhead, wherever they're comfortably laying on the ground. This is going to lift your ribs slightly away from your pelvic floor, so it's going to increase that challenge a little bit. Again, if you can't maintain this position comfortably, not somewhere where you should be. So, position 1, position 2, position 3. If all that's really easy, you can lengthen your body out with your legs straight, and then also work back up to having your arms overhead. And again, this should be an easy position to breathe from. Not only do you want your stomach to kind of lift up and down, but you also want to think about your stomach and abdomen expanding laterally, so to the sides as well. So every breath should lift and push out your stomach, and that 3D breath is going to fire all those deep core muscles. So once you got your breathing down, and that's easy, you can work on using the dead bug to kind of push that deep core training to the next level. So we start here, and that rolls the pelvis off the ground. So you want to focus on keeping your tailbone off the ground, and then after you've established that position where your tailbone's off the ground, you let go of your knees, and you can either straighten them with your arms straight up in the air, or you can keep them bent. Whichever one's going to allow you to hold this position relatively easily. A little bit of effort's okay, but it shouldn't change your breathing. If you can do this really easily, you can start to bring down your arm and your opposite leg. So you bring your arm and leg down, keep it under control. You keep that leg off the ground, and you take a breath here. And then you bring them down and bring them back up in a coordinated fashion. And you're just going to alternate from one leg to the other. And the goal is for this arm and this leg to not move as I lower and elevate my opposite arm and leg. If you don't have any shoulder problems, or if you don't have a stiff neck, you can also bring your arm overhead, because the goal here is movement with two limbs without letting your other ones move. Okay? So the key here for all your dead bug movements, whether you're stationary or moving your arms and legs, is that you should still be able to breathe into your diaphragm, and your neck and chest shouldn't be ridiculously tight. So work on your breathing, get that dialed in, and then take it to the next step by working on those dead bug variations, and that should really get your deep core muscles firing hard. And then our next video the next video that we'll make about how to fire your abdominal muscles, or your superficial ones that everyone actually thinks is your core, and then we'll take it one step further as well. So, enjoy.